All right, Bears fans, settle in because it's time for another mailbag session right here on Bears Now. But before we dive into your questions, there's a topic that's been buzzing in the NFL world, and we have to talk about it. And yes, it involves your Chicago Bears. Earlier today, Pro Football Focus dropped their annual rankings for offensive lines across the league. Now listen to this. They didn't just rank them top 10 or top 15. They went all in, ranking all 32 offensive line units. And guess what? The Bears came in at number 4. That's right, 4th best offensive line in the entire NFL. Not only that, but also the highest ranked unit in the NFC North. Let that sink in for a second. For years, the Bears' offensive line has been a punchline, a group struggling with consistency, riddled with injuries, and often lacking top tier talent across the board, but suddenly they're being talked about in the same breath as the elite groups in the league. It's a major shift, and it got me thinking, are we really looking at a top 5 O-line? Or is this just preseason optimism taken a bit too far? Looking at the rest of the NFC North, the numbers from PFF back up that this division is stacked when it comes to the big guys up front. Minnesota is sitting at number 7. Detroit landed at 13. Although I'd argue that ranking may have dropped a bit due to the surprise retirement of Frank Ragnow, and Green Bay is right there at 14. So yeah, all 4 teams in the top half of the NFL when it comes to offensive line rankings. That says a lot about how this division is built. Physical football, running the ball, protecting the quarterback, and winning battles in the trenches. Now back to the Bears. The number 4 ranking sounds great on paper, but I'm gonna be real with you. I still have my doubts. Not because I don't think this unit has potential. I do. In fact, I believe they can be very good this year. But top 5? That's rare air. We're talking about entering a territory typically reserved for teams like Philadelphia, who have had a top-tier offensive line for years, or Detroit in recent seasons before the Ragnow news. These are groups that have had years to develop chemistry and cohesion together, which is something that cannot be underestimated when it comes to offensive line play. One of the biggest factors in building a dominant O-line isn't just talent. It's time. Time spent playing together, learning each other's tendencies, communication at the line of scrimmage, adjusting protections on the fly. That's what separates a good unit from a great one. Look at Philadelphia when they plug in a new guy like they did with Sua Opeta or Jack Driscoll in recent years. The transition is smooth because they're surrounded by veterans like Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. That kind of foundation is what keeps the machine running. The Bears, they're getting there, but they're not there yet. Let's not forget there are still major question marks heading into training camp. Who's locking down the left tackle spot? Can Jonah Jackson bounce back and solidify his role? Is this line going to gel quickly enough to protect Caleb Williams, a rookie quarterback in his first NFL season? These aren't small questions. They're the kind that can swing an entire season. So while I love the optimism and the potential, if you ask me today if the Bears have a top 5 offensive line, I'm going to say no, not yet. Top 10? I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat, but top 5 still feels like a stretch until we see them dominate week after week against real competition. Now, speaking of Caleb Williams, one of the biggest topics floating around the fan base lately is about his future. And no, I'm not talking about whether he'll win Offensive Rookie of the Year or take the Bears to the playoffs in his first season. I'm talking about his second contract. That's right. Some fans are already looking 5-6 years ahead and wondering if Caleb could pull a Tom Brady and take a discount to help build a winning team. Look, I get where the question comes from. Brady famously took less money during much of his career to give the Patriots more flexibility, but let's be honest, those days are long gone. The NFL is a different world now. Quarterbacks are getting paid. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. These guys are setting records with every year. New deal. The truth is, players today, especially young stars coming in with massive hype and business-savvy agents, are looking to maximize their value. And that's exactly what Caleb's camp will do if he lives up to expectations. Maybe down the line. In his 30s, when he's already secured generational wealth, there's a conversation to be had about restructuring for cap flexibility. But his first big contract? You can expect it to be huge. And honestly, that's a good problem to have. It means he played well enough to earn it. When was the last time the Bears even had a quarterback worth giving a second contract to? It's been decades. So let's cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, just focus on the development If the Bears get 5 or 6 good years out of Caleb and then have to pay him top dollar, I'll take that scenario every time. Switching gears a bit, there's also been a lot of chatter around the running back room and whether the Bears might dip back into the draft next year to add more firepower. Specifically, one name that keeps popping up is Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame. If you've been reading some of the way too early 2000 Evante Says mock drafts, yeah, they're already out. You've probably seen Love's name linked to Chicago. And I gotta say, it makes some sense. The Bears were very interested in Ashton Jeanty this past offseason. They clearly value dynamic backs who can do it all. Run, catch, block, and Jeremiah Love fits that mold. Now, a lot can happen between now and next April. College football is unpredictable. Just ask Chuba Hubbard, who went from first-round hype to a mid-round selection after a lackluster senior year. Running backs are especially volatile, but if Love lives up to expectations this season and continues to show he can be a true 3-down weapon, I'd be excited to see him in navy and orange. It's never too early to think about how you can keep surrounding your young quarterback with weapons. And speaking of additions, let's talk defense, more specifically the edge rusher position. One of the big questions coming into training camp is whether Ryan Poles is going to make another late offseason move to add a pass rusher. History says yes. Just look at his track record. He signed Riley Reiff late in his first season. He brought in Yannick Ngakoue last year during camp. He even traded for Darrell Taylor for a 6th rounder. So it wouldn't shock me at all to see a veteran edge added in the coming weeks. And let's be honest, it's kind of necessary. If Adetomiwa Adebawore is going to play inside more, like some reports suggest, then you're thinner on the outside than you'd like. Do you trust Austin Booker, an intriguing rookie, to be your number 3 guy? What about Dominique Robinson or Daniel Hardy? Those guys are unproven. If one of them is your 4th edge, fine. That's manageable. But as your 3rd? That's asking a lot. This is why names like Jadeveon Clowney or Zadarius Smith keep coming up. They're not the elite guys they once were, but they're still productive veterans who can rotate in and get after the quarterback. And let's not forget, defensive line play is all about depth. You need waves of guys who can stay fresh and attack for 4 quarters. If you can get a Smith or a Clowney on a 1-year deal for $6 to $8 million, that's the kind of move that can pay off in December and January. All right, let's keep rolling because the questions haven't stopped. Coming! One fan asked about Case Keenum and whether he could win the backup job behind Caleb. And what would that mean for Tyson Bagent? It's a fair question because both of those guys bring something different to the table. Case Keenum is the classic veteran, smart, experienced, a guy who won't make mistakes if he's pressed into action. Bagent, on the other hand, is the young gun. He's got some tools, he's athletic, and he's shown flashes. Remember, he went 2-2 as a starter when Fields went down. If Keenum wins a job and is QB2, it probably means Bagent is on their way out next year. But if Tyson holds on to that backup spot for a 3rd straight season, that says a lot. It means he's earned the trust of the staff and could be a long-term number 2. In that case, Keenum is there more for mentorship and depth, not to be the guy. I do think both players make the final roster. The Bears will carry 3 quarterbacks this year, but the real intrigue is how they're ranked. And before we wrap this segment, one more name to monitor: Alvin Kamara. Could he be a trade target mid-season if the Saints spiral out of contention? Possibly. We've seen Ryan Poles make splash moves in the middle of the year before, and Kamara is still an elite talent. He's under contract, but New Orleans might be motivated to shed salary if they're heading toward a rebuild. Same goes for Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis. These are the kind of moves that can shake up the second half of a season. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. There's growing speculation in the football world after a recent controversial move by Bears head coach Ben Johnson, who reportedly expelled star defensive back KYLER Gordon from the team. Sources close to the organization suggest that tensions have been simmering beneath the surface, culminating in this dramatic decision that has sent shockwaves through the NFL community. KYLER Gordon, known for his athleticism and key role in the Bears' defense, has been a fan favorite since joining the squad. His potential to shape the team's future has always been clear, but whispers of a fallout with Johnson have been circulating quietly. Now, insiders hint that the conflict might have escalated beyond repair, prompting Johnson to take such a drastic step. The exact reasons behind this expulsion remain unclear, fueling a whirlwind of rumors. Some speculate it could be related to disciplinary issues or clashes over team strategy and leadership styles. Others believe personal disagreements might have played a role, as Johnson is known for his strict approach and high expectations. Either way, this move appears to mark a significant turning point in the Bears' locker room dynamics. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing about what this means for the Bears' season and KYLER Gordon's future in the league. Will Gordon be picked up by another team eager to harness his talent, or is this a warning sign of deeper problems within the Bears organization? The coaching staff has remained tight-lipped, adding fuel to the rumor mill as the football world eagerly awaits an official statement. If true, Johnson's decision could have far-reaching consequences, both for team morale and the Bears' performance on the field. Such a public severing of ties with a key player is rare and raises questions about the direction the franchise is headed. Meanwhile, other teams may be circling, watching closely for any opportunity to add a promising defensive asset. While this story is still unfolding, it's clear that the Bears are at a crossroads. Whether this controversial act by Johnson signals a bold new chapter or a troubling sign of internal discord remains to be seen. For now, fans can only speculate as the rumor mill spins on, keeping everyone on edge about what's next for both. The coach and KYLER Gordon. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.